Hello guys, and welcome to another video today, this time for some more AOR highlights. This time for round 3 or round 2 on the channel for Algarve. Last time out we obviously did Spa, but I couldn't show you the highlights. Well, I will eventually show you the highlights. I'll show you a little clip at the end of the race. But that race is going to be reran because of some glitches on the game. That happened with a patch that basically came out on that night, and I think it caused some interruptions for some people. So looking back here, we actually went on to win in Spa, and I was very happy with that result, second win of the season, and it just happened to be taken away from me because of some of the issues. So AOR are rerunning it at the end of the season, which is okay, fair enough, but we're in Algarve here, and in qualifying our bad luck seemed to continue, as for some reason we had some pad issues. For some reason it just wasn't, the pad was just disgraceful. In practice I was doing like 43s, easily low 43s, and here the pad was absolutely disgusting. It was understeering, and I think it's actually now a new glitch. I had it before, in other racing basically on, I think it's basically a recent glitch that happened on a patch that we've had, where the pad just basically goes to understeer city, and it's just horrible to play with. And normally it's fine, normally I'm able to get around the circuit perfectly fine, and it isn't setup related because I was doing 43.2s and the car felt amazing around here, and for some reason the pad glitch that I've had here has occurred again, where it just feels like you just can't feel the car basically, and it feels like it's unnecessary. So here you can see I'm hitting the apexes, but I have to go slower into the corners to even get to the apex, and the car was just horrible. It was understeering out the corners as well. So at this stage of qualifying I had not set a lap, a actual competitive lap, and if I did a 43.2 I'd been on pole, and I was just desperate to try and get in the top 5 here, and that was the only thing I could do, just damage limitation, and I was pushing as hard as I could with what I could do, as it felt like the pad was broken. It felt like I broke the pad and it just wasn't working very well. So disappointing really, because I felt pole was on very easily. Pace was fantastic in practice, and the car felt completely different here in qualifying, and that isn't a track thing, and it isn't a track temperature or anything like that. Generally my pad had a problem, because after this qualifying session I actually got some advice from my teammate, Hurricane, who recommended me to turn off my controller and turn it back on again, and I did that and it fixed it. So seemingly that the controller has a glitch online, but we're coming to the line here, and I knew that it wasn't going to be competitive, and across the line we come is a 45.2, 2 seconds off my best, and that was P3, second off my teammate there, Hurricane. So pretty good qualifying considering the issues we had, but otherwise we'd been on pole position. But in P3 we can fight there, and I could immediately turn my controller on and off again to try and fix the issue, and it did work in the formation lap heading onto it now. I could feel the car had responded better, and the car was much more responsive as a result, so I wasn't struggling anymore, and I felt that now I could actually have a really strong race. We're not starting in a division that I wanted to start in, but we're right there being able to fight in the top 3, so that's obviously the main thing. So kind of in qualifying like damage limitation to try and do what we could. But here we are now, right behind our teammate, ready to go racing here in the Algarve, and we've gone already, so we're going already racing. We're going to try and go alongside him. We actually got a really good restart. We followed him through, and we're actually already up to second place, as the one American had a pretty messed start, and we're at the inside of our teammate here, and turning in, I didn't know how well the car would react, and we turned in nicely, and the car felt really good. A little bit of oversteer sort of caught me up by surprise on the inside here, turn 2, and now on the inside of our teammate in turn 3 here, down second gear, understeering a little bit. He gets a really good exit though. We park it a little bit, he couldn't get anywhere near us, and there you go, we're into the lead of the race. So already the car felt amazing. As track center 90 there, the car felt really good. It wasn't understeering anymore. We didn't have the glitch that we had in qualifying, because this glitch we've had is actually a reoccurring glitch. It happened before, and the car felt amazing in practice, so definitely not a glitch. And you see my lap times in this race, you can see I was going faster than I was doing qualifying, so that shows that the pad had fixed itself. So something to learn about the pad going into the upcoming races. So what I need to do is reset my pad before the races, so I don't actually have this issue again. But here I'm just trying to get back into the groove of things again. It felt just like I was doing in practice. It felt amazing to drive. The car was on it, and my pace was really good. I was really happy with my pace. I was actually running a stable setup, so I was running one of the presets that the game gives you. So it gives you a stable, a loose, and a default. I was running stable, and I reduced the rear wing a little bit to have a bit more strong and speed around here, and it worked perfectly fine for me. The car felt amazing around here. We're using a little bit of traction control and a little bit of ABS, they're both on the low setting. The ABS just helps you with locking. There's no harm in it. It just the cars in real life use it anyway. And the traction control, we're running on the low setting so we can actually fiddle around with it throughout the race. So the tyres get more worn. We can change it. You can actually lower the amount of traction control slip you have, which means it actually increases the amount of slip. So the more lower you have it, the more increase of slip you have. The more higher you have it, the more decrease in slip you have. So that's what we could do. We fiddle around it in the race. I actually had a good reference for myself around this circuit. So strength about 47.9, and cutting on later on to the end of lap 3 here, and you can see already we've been really pushing the car hard. We've got a nice gap to our teammate AOR Hurricane, about 5 seconds or so, and across the line here, this is actually going to be faster than our qualifying at 44.498. So there you go. That's just how much actually in the tank we had in qualifying, and that was only 2/10 off the pole time. So that shows just how much of a disadvantage we had in qualifying because of the pad issues we had. So pace already I knew was there, and we'll just try and go round and round the circuit, and just try and push as hard as we can to get the gap out to our teammate behind us, who was doing a really good job, trying to get a 1-2 for us like we did in Spa, which obviously got taken away from us. But at lap 11 now, cutting on later on, nothing much happened here. Just trying to keep consistent, as I said, and it was just about to the end. At this point, I did actually change up, so I was running rich mix down the straights, and I decided, because the engine wear, I think we're on about 4 or 5 about this, or actually 6 maybe now. I decided to just keep it on normal revs and normal mix to try and help with the actual engine damage and the gearbox damage, so I didn't actually have my engine blowing up on me. So I knocked it down to normal mix. I short shifted a lot more often to try and help with the gearbox, so I wasn't actually going to destroy my engine in the race. So from this point onwards, I was sort of just trying to go more slower in the race, trying to go just conservatively to try and get the car to the end, and that was the aim here. In such a good lead and such a good advantage over my teammate. That was the main thing for me, just to try and keep the gap where it was and stabilise the gap whilst he was pushing on, and he was really pushing on, and we were in the pie together, and his engine damage was getting much worse as we're skipping it on here. But yeah, the race itself was really good. It was really strong from us, another strong showing again for the 3rd time this season, in my opinion. Obviously from Spa, we won in Spa, and showing again pace is really strong in this tier. And it was just a really good car to drive around here. The Audi did suit this track more than the other cars, so that could be one of the reasons why we had such good pace. But you can see here, we're just doing consistent lap times here. 46s, obviously running it in normal. I know it's quite slow, but running it in normal, just to protect the engine, short shifting as well. We had the luxury of doing that to try and cruise it to the end, and that is what I was trying to do and get it to the end of the race. 45.9 that lap. And just continuing just trying to go slower and not pushing the car too much, and to get to the end of the race. But overall, the car felt amazing. The drive, I could tell. I'm coming up to 29 now. We're coming up to one of the lap cars and a 45.5. So at this point in the race, I started to push a little bit more. I had a little bit more left in the tank, and obviously the gap between me and AOR Hurricane was up to 10 seconds roughly. So he actually reduced the gap, and he was pushing on with rich mix, and I just decided to put up to the sort of now keep it in normal, but actually increase the amount of revs that I was using to try and get more speed, because obviously I was just revving the car quite low during the race to try and protect the engine and the gearbox. So here I started pushing a little bit extra now as we're trying to get past Miko in front, who's getting lapped, and I think he's had a really meh race. He's had a pretty mess season so far, so I think he's been pretty disappointed with this season, as he lets us go pretty nicely, as we've got another 6 more laps to go in this race, and see things were just hooking up nicely. But I got to the point where I was getting a little bit bored of how I was driving. I was sort of driving like a granny, and I wasn't pushing the car very hard, and I decided that I wanted to push the car a little bit extra, just to have a bit more fun and respond to the lap times that AOR Hurricane was doing. So that's what I was doing. I pushed the car a little bit extra to have a bit more fun, and this lap across the line here, we're going to do a 1:45 probably across the line for 1.6, as we're going on a bit of a sprint towards the end. But things just looked really good for us, and we're doing a solid job at this point. And going on lap 35 now, towards the end of the race, we're still in the lead, and just a really bulletproof race. Nothing really to comment on, there's nothing much I can say. It just was very good. But we're going on to a push lap here now. I thought, for the last lap, let's give it a last lap blast. I tried to go for fastest lap. Well, actually, I already have fastest lap, but I tried to go even faster, and I knew I could go a little bit faster. So I put up this rich mix now, and we're going to come to the line. And you can see how much rich mix has gained you. It gains you a lot down the straight, a lot more speed in the car, And here I was just trying to push on here. Just going to go basically going for a qualifying lap here. Down the third gear into turn 1, hitting the apex nicely, not extending too much. Turn 2 now is like a little kink, straight line it, and then down here, then the second gear for this corner, pretty tight here. My traction through here wasn't the best because I was running a little bit of traction control, so I could have probably upped it a little bit, up the slip a little bit. But already we're 2.5 tenths up as well, roughly, and a little bit on the curb there, a little bit of oversteer, a little bit scrappy. Now entering this hairpin, pretty difficult. I run it in first gear myself. I was running it in second to hit the gearbox, but now first for this one to try and attack. A little bit of understeer on the apex, a little bit on the curb, but other than that, not too bad of a run. As we now through this sort of kink now, as we pass it to 1, a little bit down on our personal best. Then a fourth gear for this right-hander, and now done the second gear for this another right-hander. And keeping on the apex nicely, running a little bit wide on the curb, but once again, really good exit as we're pushing really hard now to try and increase that gap and then just go for that fastest lap, even another fastest lap this race. Down here, it's pretty tricky corner. You can lock up quite easily. Down second gear, hit the apex nicely, not running it too wide. Could have used a little bit more of the circuit there, but once again, we're a little bit down in the middle sector, and now heading into this complex part of the circuit, down a second gear, really tight corner here, and then this right-hander coming up. Now you take it in third gear initially, and I normally put it down the second gear to get a little bit more turn in, and we get a nice run, but get a little bit of oversteer there, and that ruined it. I lost a couple of tenths there, and just showing how the tires had lost their breath a little bit. And now for the last corner now, in fourth gear again, a little bit of understeer, and coming to a line now to finish off the race, to get a fast lap as well. It was awesome, and it was a good lap there. Really enjoyed pushing it on the last lap, and across the line we come. And it's going to be a 1:44.457, so another fast lap for us there. And that was awesome, really good race for us. Pace was there when we needed it. The car was amazing in the race compared to qualifying. Obviously, after those pad problems we had in qualifying, we managed to fix them. So thanks to AOR Hurricane for the suggestion. It actually really helped us to actually have the pace once again. And I noticed it straight away. With the right hander, I could go pretty much flat out and not have any issues. So do's and don'ts here at the end of the race. A 1-2 for the AOR boys in this tier, and we're doing a fantastic job at the moment, and it's just really good. And I was really happy with the result in the end. So that was that really. Another race win on the board for us in the season, in my opinion, third in a row. But we're going to rerun Spa soon. But there you go. That's the results. And that was it. That's really the race, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like and subscribe for more racing content on the channel, and I'll see you very soon in some more highlights. See you guys.